What is up, people? My name's Richie, and today we're going to go through all things crypto.
She don't like the height, so she stay on all four. You can call her back, she don't want you anymore. I don't play around till they play out the chorus. Tell them see you soon.
Ed and I have finished our cruise. Lovely experience. Pretty happy to get back into these charts and hopefully send out a couple of alerts. I just sent one out before on Bitcoin. That was referring to this triangle pattern here that we have. But as you can see, Bitcoin's just been on the up and up. Excuse me. We have had an upward trend for quite some time now. So obviously that there is a higher high, and obviously this is a higher high. So we've just been mapping this out. You know, went on a bit of a higher resistance run here. We had 1-2 touches, third one broke through and settled a bit lower, which drew us to our mainstream trend line here. Bounced along a bit, took off. It's come back, had a nice retrace. We put the fib on that. We'll see exactly where the retrace hits. And wouldn't you know it, it's past the 50%, close to the 61.8 zone, which is perfect for us. We'd have a lower high, lower low, lower high. Then we reached a higher low. So all that indicates is we're in a triangle pattern. And as you can see, let me blow my screen up quite a bit. As you can see, price is about to break out here. So I just sent an alert out to via Twitter, warning everyone of this. Price breaks up out of that above this trend line here. It breaks above it. It'll break that. It'll break support. So turn support into resistance. Exactly what we want. Now 9 times out of 10, actually that's a lie with Bitcoin because it usually just explodes out. On a general forex currency, price will break out, return to that line, and then continue on with the trend. Bitcoin doesn't seem to behave like that. It usually just bursts out of there like a bull out of the gate. But anyway, we are waiting for a candle here to break above that, that support line, break and close, and then we will be re-entering this pair. Projected profit target is up here. It's 20,512. And again, we get that profit target from the neck of the triangle. So if we put that in there, from the bottom to the top is what we took that measurement from. We're placing it here because we reckon it's probably going to break out next hour, if not this hour. However, we'll see how that goes. Make sure that it does close nice and bullish. And then we'll enter. If price doesn't break out that way and it breaks along this main long-term trend line here, this resistance line, then we're not entering anything. That's a simple fact. It goes against our trading principles of trading with the trend. Okay, so next up is Litecoin. Litecoin's been great. Look at it. It's had some nice supply and demand zones here. So we've got one here. It's a nice little zone. We have another one just straight off of that, which started basically here and went there. That did run off to the downside. So when we got down here, now I've been looking at this for a couple of minutes, and I've just been trying to figure out where an entry point is with Litecoin, and there doesn't seem to be one because it's really sporadic. You know, it's bullish, it's bearish, it's bullish, it's bearish. There really is no clear signal here to for anyone to enter long. Partly due to volume. Volume and momentum play a big part in trading, and when you don't have the volume in the market and it's not being traded so frequently, then things are a little bit different. I suppose at the end of the day, that pin bar there could be, this zone here could be looked at as an entry point, although it wouldn't be strong enough for me to enter on. Just because, you know, there's no engulfing. There is a pin bar. It's significant. It's a significant pin bar. price does trickle off, but I mean, we've got benefit of hindsight there. If I'm watching this chart roll out live like we are now, there's no way I would have entered on that. So Litecoin, just in a holding period. I'd really like to see a decent retrace, again, around the 50% or the 61.8% mark. Would make me pretty happy, and it would definitely make me look into this a lot further. Anyway, great things for Litecoin. It's blasted out of the park since the 16th, and it's really gone superbly well. And it started off on, what is it, 256? We're up to 363, which is an amazing profit margin. Next one, power. Now, I did alert everyone to this previously. Power has been great. It has come down, and it did bottom out. So the lowest point for power was down here at about the, what have we got, 2,700 mark. Since then, it's gone back up, and it's on a run up, which is great. The other impressive thing about that is it's backed against Bitcoin. So generally, one of them is going to have to go into a bearish period, and the other one in a bullish for it to have a significant rise. However, power has just been rising off its own back recently, which is a really good indicator that this particular currency is going to go nuts. I did say when it was around the 74.84 mark that it was a good buy, and we did buy, and we have held through this period. I reckon hopefully within the next week we'll be back up above that and back into positives. That's the benefit of tokens. You don't have to worry about stops and so forth, because you can just buy without setting a stop, and you can just sell without having a stop. So that's really good. Unless you're on a major exchange like Oanda or FXCM, then you do require stops. But there's other ways to purchase these coins where you don't have to apply that rule, that trading knowledge. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has been pretty good. I drew this a little bit earlier. I did predict that this would go up, and the reason why that is because we broke out of we had the trend line here, we went below it, came back up and just burst through, like literally burst through. And that was, this was on the 19th, which is today. So it burst up, it's retraced. If we put the fib on that, it's a pretty good retracement. What have we got there? Yeah, we've got a 50% retracement, which is great. We've come back down, and then along this consolidation period here, this is where I really started taking note on this. Again, this wasn't a tradable move, but you know, the more times we repeat this stuff, the more times you're going to pick up on it. If you do have any questions, fire them below. Let us help you out. Our knowledge is your knowledge. Let us share some of the training and knowledge that we have in the market, so that you can benefit financially. Although we don't tell people to enter here and exit here and do all that sort of stuff, we will point out patterns, and we will point out entry points according to a certain set of rules. So it's up to you whether you want to enter or not, and it's up to you whether you want to close out or not. We're not giving anyone any financial information apart from the knowledge that we have of reading candlestick patterns and being Forex traders. So anyway, back to this. We did have that nice consolidation period here. Draw a box around it. As you can see, actually we'll draw that down a little bit. As you can see, this bull candle broke above and closed, and then the next one just shot off. We've got a bit of deceleration coming into the market right here. We're about the 2,500 mark, which is good. You know, Bitcoin Cash has really skyrocketed in the last couple of days. It's great. It's really good to see. You know, obviously we've got Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum, which are all long-term investments in our train of thought. There's also Ripple, Dash, and what's the other one we're looking at? NEM. I'm absolutely besotted with NEM at the moment. I think that's going to be really, really good for the future. But yeah, that's pretty much a wrap up on Bitcoin Cash. Again, no tradable positions here, although it did shoot off. There wasn't any clear signal that it was going to. Down here, you would have been looking for some kind of pattern, and there just isn't a pattern to be recognized. This happens in Forex as well. Markets do just take off and do their own thing, but we only look for clear entries. So we're just holding tight on this one. Of course, we always have long positions going on these. It's just, you buy them at one price and you just let them run. Specifically in crypto, we don't so much do that in Forex. It's a little bit more risky doing it that way. Anyway, that is Bitcoin Cash for this day, being Tuesday, which brings us to my ex-girlfriend Ethereum. Now, look at this little baby. We had a couple of really nice retraces down to the 61.8, really classic pullbacks, which is really good. I did say there wasn't so much of a pattern last time I did this, which was Wednesday last week. And out of that consolidation box, we went straight up. We pulled back to the 61.8 here. We pulled out of that zone and we pulled back again. So we went from the bottom to the high. And as you can see down here, 61.8 was hit again. And then we trickled off and went into a consolidation period. One thing that I did notice, I'm back on Bitcoin. I might point it out later on a separate tweet. So we price pulled back from that point, pulled down, and then we went back up. From here, we reached a higher high, another higher high, which superseded this one. Knew we were on the way up. Price pulled back down here. This is where we drew the trend line in on the second here low. Price took off from there. Got a little tiny railroad pattern. Entered long. Price come down, broke below the resistance, which is a bit scary. Turned resistance into support. We trickled up, hit support. Come back down, broke through, and we are sitting at $859 currently. As I said, Ethereum is undervalued by thousands of dollars. People are just starting to click onto this. So if you're not on Ethereum, you're stupid, get on it. I don't mean that literally that you are stupid, but I think it's a silly move if you're not. You want to pile a bunch of money into this, sit and hold. It's only going to go up from here. Bitcoin, that ride's never going to run out. And the sole purpose of Bitcoin is every single person across the globe knows that as a brand. It's just one of those things. Ethereum is becoming one of those brands. It just has power behind it. So park some money on it, let it run. Put some more money on it and trade it. As I said, like we make about, anywhere between 10 and 25% extra off trading Ethereum on its pullbacks and runs than you will if you have it from, say, if you pick up Ethereum at $700 and you let it run to $4,000. We will literally be tens of thousands of dollars ahead of anyone just by trading it. It's just a matter of compounding your money. It's the cleverest and easiest way to grow your wealth. So anyway, that is me for the day. I'm glad to be back. Love being back. Love being on the charts. This is something that I was born to do. I hope you got something out of this. Please leave a comment down below. Hit the share button, hit the like button, turn on the notifications, and everyone out there, just keep it real and keep trading. Ciao.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's episode. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button below and also the notifications button so you don't miss out when the next episode comes out. Also follow us on the Facebook, get amongst the discussion over there, and also follow us on the Twitter. That's where Richie posts all of his badass trades you don't want to miss out. See you soon.
I don't need that airport. Skip the conversation, I don't care for it. Don't like my music, then